has brought some of our best and our brightest to interact with you. And so I go along with it. So when I get to my time limit, pull my robe, Dr. Mack, so I can step down. But I do have an announcement before I do make my few words to you, that the book that we've been waiting for is here. The book that we've been waiting for is here. And it's a marvelous, wonderful, unbelievable contribution to the African world development and intellectualism by Dr. Jeffries. I'm not here for comedy, I'm here for something real. Dr. Jeffries has produced this marvelous contribution to our world. And I have it in my hands. Published by NYU Press, Bloody Lounge, Civil Rights and the Black Power Movement in Alabama's Black Belt, by Dr. Hassan Kwame Jeffries, my nephew. Dr. Hassan Kwame Jeffries. And in this book, he acknowledges all those who went before and laid the foundations for him. And I was marveling at how many people he did acknowledge. And my brother called me up and said, "Did you read the beginning?" I said, "Yes, I did." And it's fantastic. He acknowledged everybody. I said, "No." He said, "No, go back and go over the beginning." And then when I got to page 3, and it says, "To Uncle Lenny for everything." He dedicated the book to me and to our struggles and what we've done. When you can instill a sense of Africanness and a sense of struggle in the generations coming after us, and they can go back into Alabama, Lowndes County, Bloody Lounge, and recapture how our people mobilized and produced the miracle of moving together collectively to throw off the oppression, then you understand that we're moving the way we should. These type of discussions that we have are very valuable, and we're raising money for the Shakur family. And that's beautiful. But somehow or other we got caught up in this conflict and opposition and what we really should be doing, brothers and sisters. I enjoy all of this. But where my heart is, to see this brain power sit down together in an African think tank and map out what should be the program for African peoples. With our oppositions, with our conflicts, with our understanding that none of us are dyed-in-the-wool capitalists. All of us want to see this system of domination, destruction, and death destroyed. All of us know about colonialism, slavery, and the destruction of our peoples. So it is not in the conflict that we will make a contribution. It is in the resolve that we will agree to come together with our divergent views, divergent experience, and produce an African think tank that can do as Dr. Clark said we should do. Pan-Africanism or perish, reparations now. And so it doesn't make any sense to think that no matter how wonderful he is, representing an individual achievement, and no matter how incisive and smart he is, to bond with not a blonde, not a brunette, not a redhead, but to bond with an African woman of great strength and power. And then to go through life knowing that the spirit that moves you is those two angels that came out of her sacred womb. You can poo-poo that if you want. That's symbolism. No, that's not. That's the African family coming together, moving on the world scene. And whether we understand this historical moment or not, that image of a black man with a black woman, with black children, with a black grandma in the White House is moving people around the world, in Indonesia, in Polynesia, in Asia, and in Africa, and there's nobody else who could have done it. It may well have been And it most likely is that he was the creation of the powers and the forces that be, because that's what they do. They create us, they program us, and then bring us forth to put us out there. But they've tapped into a force of moving around the world that they had not anticipated, that this brother has given us a view and an understanding of. He is not the force, he is not the view. He has just opened up the power of the people moving together that we have to harness. I don't expect of Barack Obama to be a black nationalist. I'm the black nationalist. I don't expect him to be a revolutionary. Viola is the revolutionary. I don't expect him to be a black power politician in City Hall. We've got our brother there. I don't expect him to be a Ron Daniels leading us to Haiti and other places. Barack Obama did what was his historical role for this historical moment, which was to beat back the retaliatory forces. They don't know what hit him. They don't know what hit him, and we have to understand that in studying white supremacy, you got to understand there are different aspects of white supremacy. They are at war with each other, and he has opened up a window on that war. If the powers that be that produce out of Columbia, out of Harvard, out of Yale, a leadership that cements their rule, an unleashed power has occurred around the Barack Obama phenomenon. I know it better than anybody else. I went to Columbia. I have 2 degrees. Columbia's education is not designed to produce a revolutionary or someone who understands the struggle. You go to Harvard as the finishing school, that you are a child of the system of white supremacy. For us to get out of Barack Obama, what we have is the miracle that we need to understand. But that's not where we need to focus. We need to focus at this historical moment where collective people's power is what the deal is. That election did not come about because some people sat down in some hole and manipulated. Eventually, it was collective people's power that moved together. People who had no political role decided we were going to take on one. Youth who had no idea that they would be involved in a political process decided that they would move into one. So moving our people step by step into politics, it is now for us. The people who've had 30, 40 years in this enormous struggle to move ahead of this process and put a revolutionary Pan-African approach to it so that it can achieve what it needs to achieve. And that's why these things are important. Some of us have Obama mania. We fell in love with this process. We didn't think it through. We got excited. Some of us are suffering from Obama demonology, and that blinds us to the historical moment. I prefer to step into this historical period with Obamaology, the study of Obama, the study of the processes that produced him, the study of the role that he's got to have for those people you say produced him out of the power brokers of the world. Then we have to say, what is our role? How can we produce a revolutionary out of this process? And we cannot, with what we have now, I call it a paralysis of analysis. We need to have a systems analysis, brother. A systems analysis means that you need to understand that economics, politics, and culture have to be, I told you, there's nothing you can do in these few minutes. However, I will be speaking on Tuesday at the He-Man's bookstore with Camille Yarborough. I'll have a few more moments. And on Wednesday, I'll be for a couple of hours speaking at UAM, where I can really outline some of the things I want to outline. And what I'm trying to say is, for me, Len Jeffries, child of a Pan-African mother and a Pan-African grandfather coming up out of Virginia, bonding with a family coming up out of Georgia. The best thing that happened to me as a political scientist, as a Pan-Africanist, as someone interested in the African world, is the election of Barack Obama. This now allows me to teach the way I never could teach. This allows me to talk about systems and analysis and banking and capitalism with a passion that I never could deal with. This allows me to have my students running after me for more about what's going on. Because of Barack Obama, now we can talk about what is capitalism, what is banking, what is education, what is military power, what is colonialism. And when he goes to Africa in a couple of weeks, you can bet this dynamic is going to take place, brothers and sisters, that he's flying to Accra for an